Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. Do the May month head forecast this bank holiday Monday. Going to have a look at some of the long range models to see what they're showing for May, and then I've got to come to a conclusion about what I think is going to happen. Also have a very quick sneak peek at the end of the video at June. But before I get on with the May month head forecast, just want to talk about the advertising for this video ads on my pages at GazWeatherViz.com. If you press play on a video ad, you'll be supporting GazWeatherViz.com. Thanks so much for doing that. So May is proving quite a tricky month to pin down, actually. Many of the longer range models are sort of hinting at another warm month, with above average temperatures, and probably not that wet either, although the CFS is just seeing a little bit more of an unsettled month now, but previously it had been going for quite a dry month. But the shorter range models are certainly indicating on quite an unsettled, coolish, showery, at the very least, first half to May. So we've got a bit of an uncertainty here about whether we've had, through 2014, starting in December, we've had all months running around 2 degrees above average. Been very warm start to the year. Whether this is going to continue for another month, or whether May is the month where we break out of this, it's proving difficult. Long range models are always uncertain when it comes to breaking out of a long established pattern. Very often they don't see it when it happens. So I'm going to have to have some caution with this, just how far I'm going to go in terms of either breaking out of a pattern or continuing with the warm sort of start to 2014 that we've had so far. So this is a 700 millibar height anomaly flow chart for May from the CFS version 2 model. It's seeing high pressure up to the northeast of the country and down to the southwest as well. So we've got sort of a ridge of high pressure setting up around the south and to the east country. A trough of low pressure, quite a deep trough actually, out in the Atlantic. That will be a fairly warmish sort of flow because we'll be bringing up southwesterly or southerly winds. So the temperature anomaly is showing that, well, yeah, it's above average for England and Wales in particular, near normal for Scotland. But most of Western Europe hinted out to be quite warm. The cold sort of anomalies with the blues are over to the east and the northeast. So a bit of an east-west split across Europe for May is a prediction from the CFS version 2 model. Now the precipitation is quite interesting because that's just beginning to go wetter than average. Previous to this, it had been hinting at a drier than average month, but it's just seeing this sort of more unsettled phase coming in. So despite this 700 millibar height anomaly flowchart, which actually shows what you would assume is quite a settled month, actually the model is starting to see that trough, deep trough in the Atlantic, could be more influential. We actually see the anomalies going a little bit above average. The Beijing Climate Centre, this is a 500 millibar height anomaly flowchart for May. It's placing an area of above average heights up to the north of the country and may extend out into Scandinavia over here as well. We've got a trough of low pressure to the south of the country, so it's a little bit different to the CFS. CFS wanted to place that high pressure generally to the east and the southeast country, somewhere around there. The Beijing Climate Centre isn't really seeing that. It's placing a trough of low pressure to the south and a ridge of high pressure up to the north. So that's probably a more settled sort of scenario actually, particularly for Scotland. It's a reasonably dry scenario. For England and Wales, we would always be threatened with showers coming up from the south, but it certainly isn't a particularly wet scenario. For the temperature anomaly for May, the Beijing Climate Centre is showing a warm month. We're in those orange colours there, as is just about the whole of Europe as well. It is seeing a warm month, the Beijing Climate Centre for May. And as we go through to the precipitation anomaly, well, it's seeing actually near normal to drier than average for most of the country. There's the British Isles just there. It's quite hard to make us out actually, but down here we've got wetter than average conditions through Spain, Portugal, that's because the low pressure is down there. But for us, particularly for the north of the country, actually we're reasonably dry. Now, as I say, the shorter range models are seeing a more unsettled, cooler sort of first half to May. So this is the GFS temperature and precipitation ensemble for the next couple of weeks. It finishes over here somewhere around the 21st of May. The red line here is where temperatures should be at this time of year. We're going to be bobbing up and down a little bit of a zonal sinuwave for the next few days. As we get through to around the end of the week, though, Friday, Saturday, most of the members of the ensemble are trending down towards average. And they sort of flat line around the red line, which is average, through most of the second week of the month. This is the 15th of May just here, so that's when we're going to the third week. And then the idea is that perhaps we lift the temperatures up a little bit, but not really lifting up with conviction. Got a lot of scatter there, as we always do, or very often do, in the latter half of these temperature charts. Also, lots of precipitation spikes as well, particularly as we get through to the end of the week and next weekend, or as we get beyond the end of the week and next weekend, I should probably say, up towards the middle of the month. Looks like it could bring in quite a bit of rainfall. So that doesn't really tally with what we're looking at in terms of those longer range models. Now, as I say, it's difficult to pin it down because we could be breaking out of the scenario that we've had throughout 2014 so far, which is to be running with temperature anomalies around a couple of degrees above average. We could be heading for a cooler month, and seasonal models, as I say, don't tend to pick up when you break out of a long established pattern. Conversely, the JFS could be overdoing this. It could turn out to be warmer than that's suggesting, and not as bad in terms of the rainfall either. So, well, it's hard really to pin down what is going to happen this May. I'm going to very tentatively say that we're likely to have another warmer than average month, but I don't think it'll be with such an anomaly that we've had through 2014 so far. I think it'll probably come out around half a degree, maybe up to a degree above average. So somewhere around average to slightly above average is my prediction for May, but not the walk through 2014 so far. Very, very difficult in terms of the precipitation, but if anything, I would suggest that we may be likely to come out a little bit above average with the rainfall. I think we could have a slightly wetter than average month, particularly perhaps the first half of the month, and then maybe turning drier and warmer in the second half of the month. But it really is a difficult one to pin down, this, so very, very low confidence in the forecast for this month. And as always, we'll review when we come back next month to see what has happened. Finally, having looked at the CFS version 2 500, 700 I should say, millibar height anomaly chart for June. It's looking quite good actually. It's placing an area of high pressure above average heights up over Scandinavia and over here as well. This trough of low pressure that we've got for May is still in the Atlantic, but it looks a good deal weaker than it is in May. So I would suspect from that, probably fairly dry month actually, and quite warm. What could happen with that is that we may get southerly flows and the risk of some Spanish plumes. So could get some thunderstorms actually times coming up from the south. So that could be quite an interesting month. But we'll worry about June when we get to it, because with so much uncertainty for May, it really is very difficult to pin down what's going on for this month. But in conclusion, the GavsOverVince.com forecast for May is that we're going to have slightly above average temperatures, average to slightly above average, not the big warm anomaly that we've had so far through all the other months in 2014, so a little bit cooler than we've been used to in terms of the anomaly anyway. In terms of precipitation, probably coming out a little bit above average, but I think the wettest phase, probably the first half of the month, then drier in the second half. We'll see how it does, and as ever, we'll evaluate next month. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Bank Holiday Monday. Bye for now.